Greetings and welcome to Smartwatch Ticks. We're in the middle of a ZEBLAZE Blitz here where we have brand new watches to review like the Thor 4 Pro or the Vibe 4 Hybrid. Wow! Or today's review, the Thor 4 Plus. Let's begin. This one's been out for a while now, the Thor 4 Plus, and you guys have been really asking for it. And yeah, today we're going to deliver. Now, initially, I was on schedule to get one of these as a prototype and give it a review, but somehow that got a little mixed up. So now we are going to look at the production version. This is exactly what you'll get if you order it, and you can order it directly from Banggood. And I've got a link for you down in the show notes and hopefully a discount coupon as well, if that's available, for the ZEBLAZE Thor 4 Plus. Now, there's some exciting stuff that goes with this watch, which you're about to see. It's a 1 gigabyte RAM with 16 gigabytes of total storage and a full-on 5 megapixel camera, unlike a lot of the other watches that we've seen in this same class. So we'll be looking at that as we go through here. It is doing Android 7.1.1 and tethers with the iWatch 2 app, as all of them seem to be doing now. We've got these different network frequencies, including 4G, and support for the nano SIM, and 2 different types of GPS with this, the different picture formats, and its overall size and resolution. Okay, let's open it up. Easy to remove plastic cover revealing the watch with a distinctive watch face on it. You've got numbers around the edge of the bezel. You've got a TPU band that says ZEBLAZE right on the end of it. This is a non-removable band, but boy, is it very flexible. Look at that. But of course, don't bend this part. That's where the antennas are. 2 buttons, the top one outlined with a little red circle, a camera, and on the bottom, the cover for your SIM card with a screw to remove it, the heart rate sensor, and the charging dock area. Okay, inside the very black box, we have a cardboard insert, and it's got a couple of holes in it, of which we've got a screwdriver and a couple of extra screws for that cover. We've got a charging cable now, and check this one out. It's not your linear inline type. Oh, come on, there we go. It's a T-type. You see that? At right angles. It's another standard type of implementation. We've seen that on other watches. It really doesn't work well to try to do it when the pins are at the top, but when it's on the side, it snaps in nicely. It'll actually hold the watch. Can you see that? So it's a really, really strong connection on here, and standard USB hookup for your watch. And last thing is the manual in the bottom, which we'll page through, the English manual. Notice it's just coming in English these days, not Chinese as well, but it starts way over here in page 1. This is one of those that's going to be more descriptive, so I'm just going to let you guys freeze frame it when you want to read it, or just put it in double speed and I can go right through it really quick. You know how to do that, right? In the lower right-hand corner of your YouTube player, there's a settings thing, and you can open it, and you can change the playback speed. So if it sounds like I'm talking really, really slow, you can speed it up to 1 1/4. It'll go about like this. Or you can go to 1 1/2 and it'll go like this. Or you can go to... You can put it on any speed you want. See, I can always find something to talk about while I show you the manual. Drives Mrs. Ticks nuts. I never shut up. Okay, we got to charge this up and turn it on and settle down and give you a review. I'll be right back. When we first turn on the Thor 4 Plus and boot it up, it gives us an option for the language to choose. It defaults to English, but I'll take a moment and scroll through so you guys can see in today's watches what languages are supported. And there's quite a few, and there's also quite a few that are missing. But this is typical, I believe, of what you're going to find in Android 7.1.1. And then you confirm your weight, height, your walking target, and your gender, which is going to be used in computing different things. You've got the QR code that you need to scan in order to download the Wear Watch app 2, whatever. And you're opening up the Bluetooth and turning that on and going through the tethering process. You get this special QR code that then shows up that you need to connect with the app. And like I said, we've already got this done several times, and I'll have links in the show notes down below that you can go and look at this being done on other watches, as well as reviewing the Watch 2 app on other watches as well. It'll work the same way on here. So we've got the power button and the back button here, and a watch face that shows up. And the first thing we want to do is not go through the watch faces, but is to scroll over and go down into settings, and we're going to extend the display a little bit so it won't time off because they're set for 15 seconds, which is right here. Let's make it 5 minutes. And then we're looking for this, the always time. This is the always time display option that's on these different watches as long as they have a 6739 processor in them. Some of the earlier ones, similar, have a 6737. They run Android 7.1.1, but they don't have this. You got to have that processor in them, which this one does. I've now activated this, and if I come back to my watch face, turn everything off, I get the ambient display. There's the stock watch face that booted up. When it turns off, either by manually or on its own, you're going to have that ambient watch face. That is something we were looking for, whether it was going to be supported in the Thor 4 Plus, and it definitely is. Whoa, Mr. Tix, what happened? Your ambient screen was a whole lot brighter just a second ago. Well, just a second ago was actually a whole day for me, and it's brighter outside now. And this is the trick the eye plays. If you guys are gauging how bright the ambient display is in the different watches as to which one you should buy, this is not a good place to do it. Look at that, the cloud's coming over. You see how it's getting brighter? Because the automatic adjustment of the camera, wow, compensates for the changes in the outside light. And as it gets dimmer outside, these get brighter. So my apologies that I can't regulate that in this high-class studio we're in, but take with a grain of salt the brightness of the watch. I'll tell you from actual eyeballing that this one is dimmer than most of the others that we've tested so far for the ambient mode. Now that we've settled all of that, let's take a walk through the watch and see what it'll do. This is the first watch face that comes with this brand new Thor 4 Plus. When you swipe down, you get this top page, and look, I've got an AT&T SIM card in it, 4G. Yippee! But I'm going to talk to you about that in just a moment. You come over here, you see that I've got it set up for cellular data. Wi-Fi is off, Bluetooth is off. That's your location services, airplane mode. Twist the wrist to see the time, sound, and brightness. And when you come over here, you get the cleanup actions, so you can clean it up if it needs to be. Music player is built into it, and I get the volume down. 15 is as high as it goes. I usually like to keep it up for that. And then your weather, when you get it all synchronized, will show up right here. That's the top level. Notifications are over here. Your app drawer is right here. And your fitness area is over here. While we're in fitness, let's just jump in here, take a quick look to see what options you have for the targets that you can set. And once again, as we've been starting to mention on a lot of these, the distance is either calculated one of two ways, through your step count as you walk, or through actual GPS signal being acquired and measuring realistically your distance traveled through GPS. We're looking for the option or opportunity that the watchmakers present to allow the integration of the onboard GPS with this whole fitness stuff. In order to see that, that thing should be blinking while it's waiting to acquire GPS, and then when it gets it, it goes solid. Or there'll be some other kind of indicator. As we mentioned in other reviews, and I'll continue to do it in each one of them because you guys don't watch them all, I know. This watch right now, as it's configured, does not appear to have the GPS integration. Another good way to check that, I'm going to finish and delete that one, is to go into cycling, all right, riding a bike. If you're riding a bike, you should be able to have a target of distance traveled, right? But if you only see these two things here and you start it and you only see your heart rate and calories burned against time, then you know it's being treated like any other sport where they've come up with some average calories burned for the typical human being riding a bike and multiply that by the amount of time that you've ridden, and that'll give you your calories. Not scientific whatsoever. Heart rate, it's looking for me, but it doesn't have any connection, so I like seeing that. It's not reading the heart rate of thin air. But for cycling, these are the only two parameters you have. When it's updated and it's integrated with the GPS, you should also see distance down here and have a threshold that you can put in there for distance as well. Okay. Other than that, you've got all these different sports, and just like I said, they've got some calculation for how many calories you burn in an hour playing badminton or jumping rope. Whatever the sport, it's pretty much just time versus calories, and you're not really getting any good information out of it. App drawer will come back to the watch itself, notifications when you're tethered to your phone, and up is the standard now Android 7.1.1 display of your step count average over the week and the steps you've accumulated today wearing the watch, again with calories and distance, and that distance is being computed based on the steps, and every step is based on the distance between your steps, your cadence, and there's no way to input your exact cadence, so this is going to be a relatively inaccurate measure of your distance traveled. And the calories, I don't know how they're figuring them out, but it's supposedly some computation of your gender times your age with your height and your weight, and that's where... Go. We're on camera. Thank you. That's where you get the... calculations for all of these, in all of these watches. If you really want a fitness watch, the Android watches aren't quite there yet. Go with a real fitness watch with real integrated GPS and real ability to set your measurements properly if you really want accuracy. If it's just a fun thing, then this kind of a watch is fine. All right, let's go through. I'm not going to spend time on these. We've gone into all of them. We'll come back to settings. All of these are stock things that you see on the watch. The camera we want to take a look at because it's supposedly a higher resolution camera than most. Music, sound recorder, your file manager, heart rate, all of that kind of stuff. Weather, voice search, which is tied in with the Google thing. The Google Play Store, Maps, so forth, Assistant, and App Store. And then I've installed Speed Test to look at the 4G cellular data connectivity. So let's talk about that. Now here's typically why I don't test the data speed in 4G on these Android smartwatches. Look at this. This is my flagship Android phone, the OnePlus 6T, with an AT&T SIM, same SIM, different phone numbers in both of these devices. And look at what I'm getting where I live. 1.8 and 2.5, and that's typical. It'll sometimes go down to 0.3 and maybe up as much as 5. But folks, I live at the base of a mountain in a rainforest, miles away from reality, and this is what I've got here. So if I give you a speed test on this 4G screaming watch, and you're disappointed because you see numbers like that, well, that's what I'm getting from my phone. And my phone should be pulling in 50 megabytes, regularly. And it probably does when I'm out and about in the area where the cell towers are. But it's not that way here. So I really apologize. You all want to see how good is 4G and does it work in the USA and all of that stuff. And I can tell you, yeah, it's marginal, where I'm filming, and I'm not really set to take my studio mobile to go out and do it in the middle of the cell zone. So hopefully other channels will give you really good coverage of the data connectivity of these new Android 4G phones as they come out. But I'm getting 2.3, that's even a little higher than my flagship phone on the download. At this moment, when you retest them, it all changes. So that's the story on 4G, and I'm sticking to it. All right, let's move on. Okay, I did it anyway. I know I'm just frustrated that I can't test these things easily here in my studio. So I went out and I found the tower. Here it is. This is the AT&T Motherlink. This is what we're connecting to, and this is how close we are. And these are the results of the testing right next to the antenna. Are you ready? This is the flagship OnePlus 6T LTE connection over AT&T. Here's what I got. You ready? You sure? Okay. 142 megabits per second download, 14 megabits upload, AT&T wireless. Oh my goodness. I couldn't believe it, so I printed it out. Yeah, with this Speed Check app. Check it out. Pablo 11 from the Pro Boards recommended it. Had to pay a couple of bucks to stop all the insane ads. It's worth it because you get great results that you can penetrate down deeply and see what your connection is, whether it's LTE or not. So 142 megabytes download over cellular. Well, how does that translate to a phone? A watch. I happen to have with me the LEMFO LEM8 and AT&T SIM card in here, which same network, same location. It picked up. It said it was on LTE. That means 4G LTE as advertised by the phone over AT&T, and the results to the watch. This is live. I just took this. 32.65 megabits down and 31.77 up. So it just goes to tell you that these smartwatches, Android 7.1.1 watches that advocate 4G connectivity with all of the appropriate bands and antennas, are indeed working in the USA over AT&T LTE connections. But you gotta have a strong connection. You've seen it already, what it's like when I'm way down at 1 or 2 bars. It drops from 4G to 3G, and then it barely pumps from there. It's camera time, and I brought over my little guppy pond. Here they are, sweet little guppies. Can you see them on the screen? There. Let's take a picture. Got it. Let's take another one. Come on, you guys. Come back here. Oh my goodness. They're like, what is that? Okay, why not a video? Ladies and gentlemen, I present the guppy pond. Look at all the pretty fish. Wow. Let's see how this turned out. Okay, that's way better than selfies, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, I present the guppy pond. Look at all the pretty fish. Wow. Let's see how this turned out. Nice. All right, it worked. Now, if I touch someplace, I can get details on this. Hello? Details. And there you go. It's saying it's a 1280 by 720, which is your HD, right? Not FHD, but HD quality video that's coming through. Close that. Come on over here to a picture. Wow, what do we want to do? Double tap? Okay. Double tap again? Okay. So you can zoom through 2 levels. Double tap takes you back small. Pinch and zoom? No, that doesn't work. All right. But double tapping, and you can still scroll around. You can go to 2 levels of magnification. Wow, that's a pretty one. Look at those guys. All right, what about details? What are we looking at here? It says it's a 1920 by 2560 resolution picture. And of course, it's only 1.4 megabytes, even though they say it's a 5 megabyte camera on it. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's using all those megabytes to take a picture. But the resolution should give you the information about the overall size. And that's the scalability that you've got, 1920 by 2560 on these pictures. Nice. All right. Double tap. And yeah, that's it. Hey, that's about all the different stuff I wanted to look at. All these other ones we've covered in the other watches. The fitness, by the way, the app fitness is just like swiping over to the detailed description of these, only they got nice colored pictures. So rope skipping, I'm at the bottom rung. You had the badminton and ping pong and football, and remember all of those things. And when you drop into any of them, like the ride the bike, remember we did that one, we're looking to see if there is GPS support. And if there is, you should be able to set a target for distance. And when you actually start it, you should see the GPS locking in, but we don't on cycling at all. So we don't really have, as far as we can tell, GPS active on any of these. You do have target distance here, but again, when we actually run it, we are not getting a lockup on a GPS, but most likely, not sure, but most likely calculating the distance based on step count. That's what usually is done in these watches if it's not able to pull it in from GPS. There's software revisions in the making for this, folks, and when they're available, push to the phone all of these, watch all of these different watches that use this system of fitness to integrate the GPS. It's right on the edge, but it's not apparently here yet installed in this particular watch. So the ZEBLAZE Thor 4 Plus fitness is not fully integrated yet. Weather, voice search, play the Google Play Store and Maps, your assistant. This is where you tie in with the Tethering app to your phone. And these are all the different things that you can do, including, look at this, sending files. So you don't have to be hooked to a computer. You can literally send files back and forth to your phone. So if you download an APK, an application on your phone from a source, you can use the send files to send it to your watch, and then you can install it side-loaded into your watch. Pretty nice. Find your device, remote capture, all of that stuff's here. And then the App Store is different than the Google Play Store. These are just some typical apps that it's tying into their server right now that are available, that they feed to you that you can install, like the Google Assistant, the Assistant that we just looked at, that we're in the middle of here, or Facebook and Twitter and WhatsApp and YouTube. Those are the main ones that you can download without having to go through the Google Play Store. And again, speed test is something I installed and we covered it. Okay, last and not least, the huge selection of 3 watch faces that ship with this one. That was the first one. This is another one that comes in here. You got a few little circles of information. It says ZEBLAZE on it. And then the third one is this one. A lot of them come with a whole bunch of faces. Sorry, the hand is right over the battery percentage right now, but you get the drift. It is a beautiful edge-to-edge screen. That's one of the really nice things about this watch. And yes, it does indeed support... I guess there is one more. It does support... our custom watch faces. Now, this one's really dim, but it is a stock watch face that came with it because the custom watch faces start here. This is Pierce Collins' design of the ambient mode watch face. So when you activate it, it'll come back. We got a video up on that where you can download this one and several different modifications in different colors. Another one that's got the date on it, another one that's got the battery power on it, different colors, and all sorts of different stuff. They're all custom watch faces, and then I've thrown in a few other ones that just to test it out and show you that custom design Android smartwatch faces do indeed work on the ZEBLAZE THOR 4 Plus. Okay, that covers the watch, folks. We are out of here. We're still on 4G. No, there you go. See, typically when I sit here in the studio, I drop down to 3G. So these 4G watches, you gotta have a strong signal if you're going to get 4G connectivity. Enough said. You can pick up this watch directly from Banggood, who sent it out to us. This is a production unit, just exactly like what you will get. Check the show notes down below, see if we've got a coupon discount for you, and head on over to the link to order yours. It helps us out at the studio here, and it of course helps Banggood out, who is sending these out for review. You've been watching us at smartwatchtics.com, and we will see you again with more of this ZEBLAZE Blitz we're in the middle of.